the way the foster system is set up right now is that uh, kids who are wards of the state or who are wards of a county, depending on how your state runs it, get put into houses with other children or with their own children. They are afforded money, medical care for those children, to provide for them. My suggestion has been, since some months ago, sometime last year, that we do something called Fostrring Family Homes. Fostrring Family Homes is about having homes that are kind of designed like youth shelters. Youth shelters are run with staff. So in a youth shelter, they have staff 24 hours a day, and these staff look after children of all ages. Some recommendations also recommend that maybe we hold on to them till they're 21. It depends on what they're going through, who they are, what state you're in. The whole thing is that this, I don't like calling kids a burden because I didn't like being called a burden myself. But we'll say financial, social, school, all of that type of stuff is then handled by a house that can hold anywhere from 4 to 12 kids, depending on how big the house is. It has to have a big enough dining room, one bathroom per, 5-ish, 6-ish kids, depending. It depends on what your regulatory boards would make. So you'd have 24-hour staff. I recommend 2 staff, at least during, like, when the kids are there, when there's school, and if they're actually going to school and not doing it in the house, then you could go down to 1 staff who's maybe meal prepping, getting, running errands, things like that. So overnight, I would have just 1 on, but they would need to be awake. You're dealing with children here. I want to expand fostering family homes to include developmentally disabled, to include seniors, to include regular disabled individuals. So not just our children, but kind of everybody, especially those who are vulnerable. So the staff overnight can be doing things for the next day. They also would be keeping an eye on who's up at night. They could be available to talk to that person at night. Sometimes children have nightmares. Sometimes they have, like what I had, was delayed circadian rhythm. So they're more night kids. There's lots of ways to address these issues that do not involve medication. I do not recommend medications for under 18. There are not studies, or at least legal studies, done on medications for children under 18. We don't know how it interacts with their brain or chemistry, or what changes. So the whole thing is that you can have these fostering family homes with staff of people who maybe don't have kids, maybe used to have kids, maybe are thinking about having kids. This gives them great exposure to children. Yes, there should be a psychologist or a therapist attached to your organization for those who need help. And in maybe some of the designing of stuff, especially if any of them have trauma issues, so that staff get trained on how to deal with trauma issues that isn't shaming or judgmental, or accusatory or punishing. We want